Stephen Colbert, gone. See ya. You're out. And let's get something straight right now, all right? Before we get into this. This is nobody's fault but Stephen Colbert. He single-handedly destroyed an icon in late-night TV, The Late Show. All right? Been here for how many decades? How many decades has this show been on? And this one man, by himself, destroyed it. And not only did he destroy it, he lost millions of dollars for CBS and put, over 200 people on the unemployment line? All because of his insufferable TDS. He simply could not get past his hatred of everything on the right and everything Donald Trump. All right. Now, I've said this 1,000 times, and I'm going to say it 1,000 times more. If you are an entertainer, your only job is to entertain me. Me as in the masses, everyone. All right. So what this clown does is he decides, well, you know what? Orange man bad. Cheeto. Mr. Cheeto. Mr. Cheeto, orange man bad. We hate Donald Trump. We hate everything Donald Trump. We hate everything he does. He's a fascist. He's a Nazi. We hate him. He's killing democracy, which is the biggest, oh my God, that's the one that just gets me the most. He's killing democracy. He's going to start World War III, which he's done none of the above. But they love to spew that out. And he was one of the purveyors of that, dude, leading the charge on orange man bad. Well, let's think about that for a minute. If I'm an entertainer and CBS is paying me a ridiculous salary, which, by the way, CBS, I would have done his job for $500,000 a year, and I would have done it better. I can promise you that. But forget that for a minute. You take this clown, all right? We're going to give you a talk show where your job is to make people laugh. Not just people on the left. Your job's not to piss off half of the country. Your job's to make them all laugh, but not Stephen Colbert. No. My TDS is on full display every single day of my life. And because I can't control it, I'm going to lose this icon show. I'm going to run it into the ground, and I'm going to put everybody on the unemployment line. And you're going to lose tens of millions of dollars. And damn it, that's how it's going to be because I'm Stephen Colbert. Good job, Stevie. You did a great job, buddy. Golf clap. Hell of a job. You wrecked an icon. Wrecked it. And now CBS is not replacing him. They scrapped the entire show. It is gone. It is over. And the reason they scrapped it is because CBS, the light bulb somewhere has to be going off. And they're thinking, well, hell, if we bring somebody else in, they're just going to turn into another weirdo, leftist, smooth brain idiot. Which is exactly what would happen, because that's what late night is full of right now. Left-wing, smooth-brain idiots. And this clown, Stephen Colbert, like I said, with his TDS, decides to piss off half of the country. Well, let's think about that for a minute. If I piss off half of the country, and they're all going to quit watching my show because they're going to label me a leftist, a liberal, which is what he was. Then we're going to take advertisers who are going to be like, you know what? With everything that's been going on in the world lately, I don't want to be associated with that. We want to sell products for everybody. We want to be Michael Jordan and sell shoes to everybody, regardless of race, gender, political ideology. We don't care. We want to sell shoes to everybody. Michael Jordan, genius. Stephen Colbert, not so much. So the advertiser says, we don't want to be labeled into that because we want to sell, lollipops to the entire world, not just to the psychos on the left. So let's pull our advertising out because we don't want to be associated. We're advertising on a left-wing liberal nut job show. So that must mean that we're left-wing liberal nut job advertisers, which means the people on the right aren't going to buy my product. And that's very true. So the advertisers start pulling out. Gotta go, to the tune of losing $40 million last year. $40 million. And what does CBS do? Gotta go. We can't sit here and spend $40 million every year. A total loss. And we're losing $40 million. And when we take into account your ridiculous salary, what it costs to put everybody on this show, and we're still losing $40 million, we got a problem. You got to go. So let's get something straight. This is nobody's fault but Stephen Colbert. He single-handedly ruined this icon show and did so much damage, they pulled the entire show off the air. But what happens next? Here come the liberals. Because they simply don't understand. If you're losing $40 million a year, chances are you're not going to have a job. Liberals don't get that because liberals are used to living off of the government and getting stuff for free. Or you take the Hollywood actors and actresses who live in their glass houses, but man, do they love to throw stones and pass judgment on everybody else in the world. If you don't think like I do, then you're stupid. Now I'm going to go make my movie and make $25 million. I'm going to make more money in this one movie than you're going to see in your entire life, but you're the idiot. And I'm going to go live in my fantasy world and live on my beach house and put walls up on my beach so people can't walk across it. Because I hate people, even though my only job is to entertain these very people that I hate. So, and before I get on to the next part, Jimmy Kimmel's got to be next. He's horrible. He's terrible. He's literally one of the worst talk show hosts I've ever seen in my life. And any man that's going to get on a stage and cry because the drunkard Kamala Harris lost the election, are you kidding me? Bro, you might want to check your man card and make sure it doesn't say female on it, 'cause I'm pretty sure it does. When Donald Trump lost, I didn't cry, didn't shed a tear. My wife didn't cry. My wife is manlier than you are, Jimmy Kimmel. What does that say about you, considering you're a man? Which I kindly, I have my doubts. If you're going to stand on a stage and cry because Drinks on the House Harris didn't get elected, I'm a little worried about you, bro. I got to be honest. I'm a little worried about you. You might want to check and see if you still got a pair dangling down there, because you may not. It may be gone. All right? So you're the next one needs to go, because at least Stephen Colbert had some wit about him. It wasn't much, but there was some. You don't even have that. You're not funny. You're just a carrot stick standing on a stage with your mouth moving and random things coming out of it that nobody really cares about. But as soon as Stephen Colbert, who train wrecked his entire show, and like I said, there's nobody to blame here but Stephen Colbert. It is 100% his fault the show got canceled and all those people lost their jobs. That's all on Stephen Colbert. Nobody else. So, first thing that happens is here comes the liberal brigade. Here they come. See, Schiff and Warren demand to know if CBS is ending Stephen Colbert's Late Show for political reasons. Well, yeah, it was political reasons, morons. He was political. If he wasn't political, none of this would have happened. If he would have stayed middle of the road, he'd have been fine. But yeah, it was for political reasons. So I guess in that sense, you two idiots are correct. So Senator Adam Schiff, Democrat, California, which still amazes me that they voted for this guy. I mean, this guy is a liar. He's a hypocrite. Oh, man. And I got to be honest there again. Might want to check his man card. I got my doubts. And Senator Elizabeth Pocahontas Warren, Democrat, Massachusetts, said the public deserves to know whether CBS's decision to cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert on Thursday was politically motivated. Well, it was. Like I said, he was a political show. It's his fault. Just finished taping with Stephen Colbert, who announced his show was canceled. If Paramount and CBS ended The Late Show for political reasons, the public deserves to know and deserves better, Schiff wrote. Okay, Schiff, you're an idiot, all right? You're an idiot. Remember Russia? Well, the public deserved to know about that too, but you carried that water anyway, didn't you, Cupcake? Boy, you lied that one all the way to the end, didn't you? Because you're an idiot. So, moving on. Enough about that. Warren added, CBS canceled Colbert's show just 3 days after Colbert called out CBS parent company Paramount for its $16 million settlement with Trump. A deal that looks like bribery. Yeah, that's what it was. And this is how stupid they are. Trump sued them for trying to sway an election, and this idiot comes out and said that the settlement looks like bribery? Okay. America deserves to know if his show was canceled for political reasons. Again, yes, it was. He was political. Watch and share his message. Okay. All right. So CBS said in a statement, long-running late show, they fired Bag. That was purely a financial decision against a changing backdrop in late night, adding it is not related in any way to the show's performance, content, or other matters happening at Paramount. And of course, they have to say that because actually it is directly related to the show's performance, content, and other matters happening at Paramount. Because Paramount can't keep throwing money into a losing show. The performance of the show was terrible. Their ratings were absolutely hitting rock bottom. And the content is the number one reason why the show lost its ratings. Come on. So here comes the liberal elites. The actors and actresses. Oh my God. These people, man. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to play any video clips here. Jamie Lee Curtis comes down and says, it's bad. He's a great guy. They just cut NPR, public broadcasting. Yes, they're trying to silence people, but that won't work. It won't work. We will just get louder. And please do. Your party's polling at 19%. I want you to get louder. I don't want you to, everything you Democrats are doing, I want you to keep doing. Because I've never seen a party polling at 19% in my life. And just a couple of weeks ago, it was 20%, and you all thought, that's too damn high. We must go lower. So you achieved it. You're down to 19%. And at the rate you're going by the end of the year, you will be down to about 12%. And that will be literally the end of the Democrat Party, as we know. Well, hell, it's already ended. What am I talking about? So, they just cut NPR. Yeah, I've listened to NPR multiple times. It's a left-wing rag. Why are my tax dollars, because I'm not left-wing, supporting that? My tax dollars shouldn't be supporting NPR. As of the half of the country that you liberals hate, who pay half of the taxes, we shouldn't be supporting NPR, so it's time to cut the funding. And you know what? This is your all's fault. This is nobody's fault but your own. NPR's funding getting cut is nobody's fault but NPR. And none of you all understand that. That's amazing to me. So then actor John Kuzzac, which used to be one of my favorite actors, now he's just a washed-up hack, shared on X. He's not groveling enough to America fascism. Larry Ellison needs his tax cuts. Doesn't need comedians reminding people they are not cattle. Now let's think about that for a minute, John Kuzzac. And this is how stupid you are. Okay, first off, explain fascism to me. Because I've got $50 that says you can't. But you have no idea what fascism is. Because I haven't seen one thing Donald Trump's done that would be related to fascism. Although I could sit here and give you a mighty, mighty nice list of things Joe Biden has done that would be considered fascism. Interesting. Then he says, Larry Ellison needs his tax cuts. He doesn't need comedians reminding people they are not cattle. Do you mean the same comedians that you all were canceling under Joe Biden for having an opinion that didn't agree with you all? Is that what you're talking about there, Buttercup? Little Johnny Kuzzac? Is that what you're talking about? Because I don't think it is, because you seem to forget all that. You seem to forget that under Joe Biden, comedy was literally dying because you couldn't say anything because you were offending everybody. Because the world was just so upset about everything. I mean, hell, there's still being fruitcakes over in UK and arresting people for putting posts on Facebook if you don't agree with the populace over there. Maybe you should go over there, Johnny. Maybe you should hang out over there. Actor Academy Award winner Zoe Saldana reshared a Washington Post Instagram that said, the highest rated show on late night. Well, that's not saying a lot, Zoe, considering that all their ratings are shit. That's not saying a lot. I mean, oh my God. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert was nominated for an Emmy on Tuesday. On Thursday, Paramount CBS announced its cancellation. How many shows have been nominated for Emmys that suck? I can provide you a list. How many shows have been nominated for Emmys that made it one season and got canceled? There again, I can provide you a list. Just because it was nominated for an Emmy does not mean it was a good show. Proof in the pudding, $40 million loss, Zoe. Kind of hard to wrap your little brain around, isn't it there? Emmy and Tony Award-winning actor Kristen Chenoweth expressed her shock and disapproval at the news of the cancellation. Well, Kristen, if you lose $40 million in a year, chances are you're not going to be there the following year. These people are stupid. This is absolutely stupid. The Boy star, Jack Quaid, never heard of him. I guarantee you this show was nominated for something. But then if you go on Amazon and look at the rating is actually kind of shitty on Amazon. So this is such utter horseshit. You are a legend, sir. Thank you for everything. A legend in what? Not in late night talk show host. He's absolutely not a legend. Are you really going to put him in the same category as Johnny Carson? Are you serious there, little Jackie? Yeah. Okay, either you're too young or too stupid to know what you're talking about. Actor Ben Stiller wrote, "Sorry to hear it. CBS is canceling one of the best shows they have. Wishing all the people who worked so hard on that show all the best." You mean all the people that Colbert put in the unemployment line? Are you wishing them the best? Huh? Because I need to know if that's what you're doing. Are you wishing them the best that Stephen Colbert could not get past his TDS and put all those people out of a job? Yeah, I bet that's really not what you're wishing. I bet you really don't even care. Actor Carrie Washington shared a screenshot of her appearance on The Late Show with a text, "Endless laughs with you always. So deeply disheartened and disappointed to hear about Colbert's Late Show. You have a way of bringing joy and finding the light even in the scariest times. We're forever grateful." Yeah, if he was bringing the light, he wouldn't have lost $40 million. Apparently, he was bringing the dark. Come on, Carrie. I thought you were better than that, honey. Actor and director, that's a joke, Olivia Wilde shared broken heart emoji on Instagram story along a screenshot of Stephen Colbert. Broken heart. So, in other words, I'm going to give Olivia Wilde the benefit of the doubt. She really didn't care. It wasn't important enough to say anything. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. The world's going to go on without Stephen Colbert. Nobody's going to lose any sleep. Olivia Munn. And here again, I expect more out of Olivia Munn. Actor John Leguizamo, the hack, the moron, the idiot, who, by the way, needs to be deported. I'm just going to say that. If you don't disagree, if you disagree with me, I don't care. Shared a series of Instagram stories calling to boycott CBS, claiming the cancellation is morally sickening. It's morally sickening that you lost $40 million. Morally sickening that they fired you for only losing $40 million. He didn't lose $100 million, so he should still be on the air. These people, they're so stupid. Actor Katherine Han wrote, "I'm sick to my stomach. I thank you, Mr. Colbert, for your genius. Yes, for your genius of pissing off half the country and losing your sponsorships and your advertisers." Boy, Katherine, you might want to rethink that one, sweetheart. Grammy Award winner John Batiste, who once led the Late Show House Band, wrote, "The greatest to ever do it." Really? Really? So you're saying that he was better than Johnny Carson? David Letterman? Is that what you're saying? Because when I think of the greats of late night, I think of Johnny Carson, David Letterman, Jay Leno. Jay Leno. You know what? I'll even throw Conan O'Brien in there. I thought he was funny as hell. I loved Conan O'Brien. But I don't think of Colbert. I sure as hell don't think of what's this goofball, Seth Meyers and whiny girly man, Jimmy Kimmel. See, you all have ruined late night. Colbert, Kimmel, Seth Meyers, and what's that other little kid? Jimmy Fallon. He's not funny at all. He's not funny at all. His show is horrible. Jay Leno, Johnny Carson's turning over in his grave. Jay Leno doesn't even think about it because Jay Leno's thinking that this unbelievable masterpiece show that Carson and Jay Leno left was taken over by Fallon, one of the unfunniest people on Saturday Night Live, and the show's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. I've tried watching it a couple times, and I cannot. So let's see. John Lampley, who plays in the house band on The Late Show, shared a post on the show's official Instagram. Being a part of this show and this band has been one of the great honors of my life. Nothing but gratitude to be part of the greatest team in late night. Yeah, well, they're not the greatest team or they wouldn't be unemployed. And here we go. Fellow host Jimmy Kimmel didn't hold back on his Instagram story and shared, "Love you, Steven. You and all your Sheldons, CBS." Referring to the CBS sitcom The Big Bang Theory, its prequel, Young Sheldon, and the spinoff, Georgie and Mandy First Marriage. Jimmy Kimmel, you're next on the chopping block. Because the amazing thing is you will learn nothing from this. You will continue on with your out of control, out of hand, TDS, and guess what? They're going to start leaving you too, Cupcake. You better get ready. You're about to be unemployed. And when you're unemployed, you're completely screwed because you're not funny at all. You're not even remotely funny. Boo, Paramount, bending the knee to authoritarian strategy. I guess it's Make America North Korea now. Appreciate you as always, SC radio host Charlemagne the God. Okay, Charlemagne the God, you're a dipshit, all right? You're a dipshit. Authoritarian strategy. But let's forget about Joe Biden and his administration going after their political adversary, doing everything they could possibly do to break Donald Trump, trying to put him in jail. That's what authoritarian regimes do, isn't it? Charlemagne the God, isn't that what they do? I think it is. See, Donald Trump could have done that with Hillary Clinton, but he didn't want to be that type of president. Joe Biden had no problem being that type of president. Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Biden's handlers had no problem acting like Joe Biden was in charge, being that kind of president. Let me get that straight. All right. This Charlemagne the God, I just don't understand this. I've listened to his show. It's pathetic. During a segment on his show, Anderson Cooper said, "I've had the pleasure and the honor of being a guest on Late Night with Stephen Colbert more times than I can count. I just wanted to take a minute and say how shocked and truly saddened that I am by the news that his show will be canceled." Shocked because he lost $40 million? How is it that us Republicans aren't shocked that when you lose $40 million in a year, you lose your job? But all you Democrats are. Stephen Colbert is smart, and he is funny, and he has actual conversations with people on his program. The thing that so many of us love about Stephen Colbert is he is at heart an incredibly decent human being with an amazing wife, family, and a strong faith. He's an incredible, decent human being who hates everybody on the right, who literally hates half of America. Yeah, that's pretty decent. Yeah. Because all the decent human beings I know hate half of America. Fellow host Seth Meyers, man, talk about unfunny, shared an Instagram story writing, "For as great as a comedian and host he is, Stephen at home is an even better person as long as you're on the left. I'm going to miss having him on TV every night, but I'm excited he can no longer use the excuse that he's too busy to hang out with me." You're not excited. Jimmy Kimmel's not excited because you all probably just picked up some damn viewers. You liars. You liars. Even though you all swim in the same pool, at the end of the day, it's only about the ratings, buddy. That's it. And if you got to stick a little knife in somebody's back to get your ratings up, oh, you would do it in a heartbeat. Don't lie. You would do it in a heartbeat. So now 1/3 of your pie has just been left out there to flutter in the wind. So realistically, you guys are happy. Realistically, you're happy. Oh my God, Rosie ODonnell. Are you kidding me? This washed up lesbian. In a 10-minute TikTok video, Rosie ODonnell blasted Trump as a madman and the reason for the Late Show's cancellation. You're literally the reason that Late Show was canceled. This is it right here. This is literally why Stephen Colbert is off the air, you ignorant people. How long do all of the voices against this horrific administration have in terms of their careers and ability to make money, she asked. Because this madman, this mentally incapacitated, physically ill, mentally ill man is spiraling out of control. His dementia is out of control. His self-regulation, which has none to begin with, is missing. He's horrible. Could it be you're just a little bitter there, Rosie? Could it be you're a little bitter? A little bitter, a little bitter. No, he's not a madman. He's not a madman. He's definitely not mentally incapacitated. I've watched more of his rallies, and I watch almost every one of his pressers. And I'm going to tell you, it's a far cry from Joe Biden. Holy shit, is it a far cry from Joe Biden. And it's even a further cry from Drinks on the House Harris. So, okay, Rosie, you're an idiot. Let's see. Mentally incapacitated, physically ill. Okay, well, you know what? He doesn't fall upstairs like Joe Biden does. And, of course, Kamala Harris just falls over, drunk. Spiraling out of control. His dementia is out of control. Man, that's the one that really gets you liberals. You're praying to God that Donald Trump gets dementia so you can finally say, well, he's got dementia like Joe Biden had. It's killing you all that he's got a brain. It's killing you all. Because, I'm starting to worry about your dementia, Rosie ODonnell. The way that you're constantly ranting in your hatred. Oh, my God. Every time you're in the news, you're physically spewing rhetoric of your enormous sycophant hatred in your TDS. I think we need to have her checked. I really do. I think we need to have her checked. And let's be honest, nobody really gives a shit what Rosie ODonnell says. Rosie ODonnell she's an absolute idiot. So it goes on and on and on. Half of these people I've never heard of, but now they're coming out of the woodwork. Stephen King canceled Colbert. Please tell me it's a joke. No, the joke is you on X. Because you are now the angry old bitter man with insufferable TDS on X. That's how everybody knows you on X now. And again, you did this to yourself. And it goes on. Stacey Abrams, I was surprised she broke herself away from a buffet long enough to do that. Pocahontas, Hakeem Jeffries, man, he's doing a hell of a job, isn't he? Party's polling at 19%. Way to go, Hakeem. You're killing it, buddy. Bernie Sanders, the socialist. Tampon Tim, Stephen Colbert, is the best in the business. He always told truth to power and pulled no punches. We need more of that, not less. Wow. Always told truth to power. Actually, he didn't. He told more lies than anything else. He was fully behind the Russia hoax. Talked about it all the time. Was that truth, little Timmy Walls? Was that truth, buddy? Huh? Was that truth? He was also, talking about how great Joe Biden was. Joe Biden, greatest man in the world, greatest president we've ever had, has all his faculty. Was that truth? So much truth that when you were asked the question, you refused to answer the question, as is everybody in your party that is being called now in front of Congress to testify. Every one of them said, I've got to, if I was my attorney, I got to plead the fifth. Because you all know you perpetrated the biggest lie on America. All right? This is bigger than Watergate. We had a president who was brain dead. So who was running the damn country? But we don't want to talk about that. So anyway, that's pretty much a nutshell of what has happened to Stephen Colbert. And hopefully Kimmel and Fallon fall right behind because there's no place for them in this world anymore. They're not funny. You know what? And it gets a little tiring. Like I said, if I'm going to go see something that I know is conservative, I know exactly what I'm in for. If I'm going to go see something that I know is Democrat, I know exactly what I'm in for. But if I'm going to go see Superman, I don't want to see some kind of woke bullshit. I just want to see Superman. That's it. That's it. I don't want to see some trashy girl boss Star Wars movie. I don't want to see that. Who becomes a Jedi in a matter of weeks, which it took everybody else a lifetime to learn? She learns it just a little time. A couple weeks. She'll be fine. Because she's the girl boss. You know what? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. And when the first Miss Marvel movie, what the hell was it called? I don't know what the first one was called. With the psycho chick that is pretty much ruining her own career. The one to Miss Marvel, whatever the hell it was called. It was actually not bad. She was Carol Danvers. It was not bad. I can't think of the name of the movie to save my life. It was not bad. But then they made the Marvels. That piece of woke trash. You know what? And I saw the first one, and I thought, man, I'm going to go see the second one because I actually kind of liked the first one. It's a chick. That's fine. Carol Danvers, that's fine. I got no problem with that. But boy, that second one was a woke piece of turd, wasn't it? So I never saw it. And even when it came on Disney, I could watch it for free now. Still didn't watch it. You all are ruining your own careers. And it's amazing that when you ruin your career, you all come out and blame everybody else but yourselves for doing that. And just to recap this, Colbert. If I ran a company, all right, let's 40 million. Let's say I was losing $40,000 a year. How long do you think I would have my job? Not 40 million, Buttercup. 40,000. How long do you think I would have my job? Not very long. And whose fault would it be? Well, it would be mine for not doing my job. So maybe you liberals, instead of blaming everybody else in the world and blaming Donald Trump because CBS doctored up a file to sway an election, maybe y'all should start looking at whose fault this really is and who ruined an icon late night talk show host and put all those people out of work. They always say the buck stops here. Well, you know what? The buck stopped at Stephen Colbert, and the problem is he wasn't making any bucks.